Oh, hello, Virgo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If Virgo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we begin with the Hierophant. You've come so far in your life. It feels as if you are coming into being a bit of a master at things. Now, there might be something very particular going on with you in terms of school or learning or training or some sort of reaching a particular level of something. It kind of feels like you're a lot closer to like graduation, than you thought. You're a lot closer to leveling up as you thought, because I feel like you have been, again, it has an educational vibe to it, but it doesn't have to be like university or a trade school or something. It could be the school of life, I feel as if you've almost got it all figured out. And it may not feel that way. I feel like your destiny is a lot closer than you think. Okay? You're somebody with a lot of skills. You're somebody that knows how to do a lot of things. Spirit's saying that someone close to you is going to be asking for your advice. I feel like you're going to give it to them. They're not going to take it, but that's okay. Everybody should listen to you, but not everybody does. But people look at you as a leader. People look at you as somebody who knows things, So, it's important now that you try to remain calm, that you try to trust your feelings, trust not even your feelings so much, trust your instinct. Because you've been through a lot, you've learned a lot, you have a lot of experience. You trust the instinct and the intuition that all of that experience, all of that life behind you has sort of turned into, okay? Don't make any sudden moves right now. Even though I think your destiny, we're getting so close now that it gives us this feeling of like wanting to kind of just jump and shout and run and, we got to breathe, all right? You've got to, I think with this card, it's kind of saying you've got to take your own advice right now, all right? Don't make any big sudden changes in your life. Just push through and keep going, because you've almost passed the finish line or whatever, leveled up here. Okay, now we're going to put this card into some context. We're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread. Got a seven of cups here. Makes sense. You got an ace of wands. You've got a 3 of pentacles, a 2 of wands, and 6 of cups. That's so beautiful and refreshing compared to the 7 of cups, right? The 7 of cups to me sort of feels like you almost, whoops, messing with the camera here. It almost feels as if things are going a little bit too slow. Like it may even feel like things have kind of like slowed down to a sort of grinding halt, or that we kind of got stuck in the mud somewhere. And when you're in this 7 of cups feeling, it's going to sort of influence you to make some sudden moves, to do something really forceful, to get out of that sort of quicksand, right? Spirit's saying don't. Just have faith that everything is coming along as it should. This may feel like a slowdown. It may feel like a little bit of a delay. Just don't do anything out of the ordinary is kind of the word here, okay? Well, let's keep going. Let's do the rest of these cards. We've got the we've got the Art or Temperance card down here, and that, I think, is important. We've got the Chariot, we've got the Emperor, and we've got the Hanged Man. All major arcana. Look at that. All major arcana. And I think that these cards are telling you really how to be the best kind of hierophant, right? The best master at this. I don't know if maybe you are graduating something, or you're sort of coming out of some kind of training situation, or I don't know. I feel like this hierophant energy is really you in a position of like being able to teach others, having this sort of wisdom and knowledge to pass on to other people. So I don't know what you're working on in your life, or what your life is all about right now, but it involves this kind of energy in some way. And I feel like all of these major arcana energies on this side are showing you how to be the best kind of, I don't know, I feel like you're becoming some kind of a professor or something, which is, that's kind of a standard interpretation of the Hierophant, right? Is that kind of that higher wisdom, higher learning. And I feel like this really does represent your energy right now. And it could even be the Seven of Cups is you kind of reluctant to even do this, that maybe you don't really want this to be your path, maybe, or it could be the feeling too that we're just not really ready for it, that this is, maybe it's like you thought you had more time, but it's kind of like you're being put on the spot now. And it's kind of like you know the answers, you've done the work, you've proved yourself. Now just go out there and do it. Go out there and be that leader, be that inspiration, be that kind of shining example for other people. And I don't know why there's this energy of people coming to you for some sort of advice or some sort of wisdom or some sort of, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what you're doing with your life right now. But I feel like maybe even maybe you are kind of becoming a teacher of some kind. Maybe in a literal kind of school academic setting, maybe in a more spiritual or esoteric kind of teacher. Okay. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we're just going to set it down right over here. We're going to put Jimbo, the Lizard King, aka Mr. Lizard, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, all right? But it will tie everything together. It will give us our confirmation. If you have a prediction for that card, put it down in the comments. It's a great way to practice your intuition. All right. Now, let's look around the room here and see what we can see. We've got, of course, our major. And then we've got fire, water, and earth. Fire, water, and earth. What we don't have is really any kind of air energy. And I'm looking to see if we can get some somewhere, and that we don't. We have water, fire, water, fire. We got water, water, fire, fire. There's no indication of air energy at all anywhere in the spread today. And I feel that it's kind of it's important that we notice that, because the lack of air energy, one, is a good thing. You're not questioning things. You're not doubting things. You're not really second guessing yourself. I feel like you have the confidence. I feel like you know that your stuff. You're ready for this, whatever it is for you. If it's something career related, or if it's a spiritual kind of thing or religious thing. But then on the other hand, there's no air energy. So there's kind of like, the communication isn't really there either, that you have ideas, but you've got to be able to share those. You have that wisdom and that knowledge, and you know that you do, but now just where is it? How is it connecting with other people? How are we getting that out there through the medium of the air energy to connect with other people? Well, maybe you're not using the air energy to connect with other people. Maybe it's not through words and graphs and diagrams and charts and all this stuff. Maybe it's through the water energy. Maybe it is through through the spiritual energy, through the compassion, through the love, through the heart. We're speaking heart to heart here rather than mouth to mouth, words to words, And so that could really be the indication of this Six of Cups in the future position. Yeah. But let's talk about the Seven of Cups, because the Seven of Cups is not the Six of Cups. It looks vastly different than the Six of Cups, right? This is kind of the swamp. This is the quicksand. This is the feeling that things have really slowed down. This is, I feel like this is kind of, it's kind of a disconnect, between things. Whereas what we're looking for in the future is the connection. And I think that this might be really the difficulty that you have to go through. This is your sort of quest is to I think maybe it's just the realization, right, that this is not an information exchange, or let's say a data exchange with words and symbols, that it's something that's more subtle, more intuitive. Okay? We could be trying to give words to something that no words can describe. Okay? So how really then does the Hierophant convey its message? How do you sort of, how do you connect with other people, right? I think the Seven of Cups is also kind of indicating that there is something that you have to move on from. Okay, and again, we don't want to make any sudden moves. You got the fire energy at the top and the bottom here. It's kind of talking about you controlling this fiery energy that you have, this impulse that just says, I gotta just move, But the Seven of Cups really could be this feeling of kind of stuck in one place, kind of sinking a little bit, not able to really connect with people. Okay, what is it that's blocking your ability to connect with people? And I don't know that honestly, I don't know if I see it in the reading right now. Okay, because there is something slowing you down. There is something preventing that Six of Cups from happening. I don't see what it is. Maybe it's the absence of the air energy. Maybe indeed we need some of the swords. I got some hope for the mystery card over here that maybe we'll have some air energy that shows we're sort of communicating what it is that feels wrong right now. Why is there that Seven of Cups? Everything else is absolutely beautiful. And I think this is what we've got to discover, the source of this, in order to get all of this other stuff. Again, all of this major arcana are describing the best qualities of the Hierophant. It's kind of telling you how to be a good Hierophant, how to be a good sort of leader, teacher, how to be a good example, how to be the master of your life that you are right now. Okay? Again, whatever it is that you're doing, it feels like there's some kind of it feels like you're kind of graduating something, or you're accomplishing some sort of training, you're finishing some kind of training, and now it's kind of, you're out in the world doing something, right? The Ace of Wands underneath it, you're somebody that has a lot of good ideas. And I think that this was something that you originated, I think a long time ago, you started this path of trying to sort of become, it's like you had an idea of what the goal was. And so once I get to that point, then it's kind of like, now I've made it, like that's the graduation day, that's the diploma, that's the goal, that's the finish line. Once you kind of cross that line, it's like the rest of the world begins. That you've attained a certain level of mastery, of self-development, of self-knowledge, of gnosis, right? That your initiation into the mysteries of life have reached a very particular level. Okay. And maybe it's that level that now requires you to pass on what you know. Yeah. And I think that this is, this is your consciousness. So this is your awareness of things that are really beyond the material world. See, when we look around at what we've got Ace, 2, 3, we've got the 6, we got the 7, we don't want the 7. The 7's almost like, the 7's too human, It's too sort of bogged down in the human stuff. Whereas the Ace, the 2, the 3, even the 6, very more toward the spiritual side of the energetic spectrum. you know? And so it really could be that you're trying to sort of purify yourself. And maybe that's what the Seven of Cups is. Maybe this is a purging of energy. Maybe this is a cleansing, right? To let go of that final bit of emotional baggage, that residue of life, so that you can sort of emerge as this spiritual being on this side here, and be, you know, connecting people with people in this way. Okay, and I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I'm getting the impression that this is like that, the ablution, you know, the cleansing, the purification that we need to undergo to prepare ourselves that last little bit for the sort of the big ceremony, you know, the last little bit of closure that you need, or the last little bit of sort of emotional work, you know, that needs to be done in order to sort of accept this new life sort of thing that's taking place. The Three of Pentacles in the previous position, this is something that started before your birth. This is something that I think is generational. It could be that we're talking something here that there's a history of it in your family. It's kind of like it's this wisdom maybe that's been passed on and passed on and passed on, and maybe now it's kind of you're the one carrying the torch, so to speak, and that would be the Ace of Wands. So we'll put that behind. Let's put that in the back like that for now, because I feel that there's I feel like you were chosen before your birth to be in this role. And it does feel like there's some sort of a family thing there, almost like there's a family line, an ancestral line of light workers, you know, of healers, of teachers, more than healers, I think. And it's time for you to sort of step into that role now, okay? We see the Two of Wands up at the top here, and the Two of Wands is... the Two of Wands is your control. The Two of Wands is you realizing that with this position, with this authority, taking on this role in your life now, is going to require you to make some very difficult decisions. As if you're the one carrying the torch, you got to use that torch to light the way for the rest of us. Okay, and I don't know exactly what this is in detail, but it's going to require you to be ready to meet with challenges. There are going to be other people that are going to sort of disagree with your authority, or even other people in your life that sort of say, like, how come they get to do it, you know, and I don't? Be ready for other people to sort of challenge your authority, you know. And I think that this is you accepting your role in such a way that you're not really very timid, you know. I feel like sometimes you've got a tendency to be a little bit quiet. This is you really speaking up. And I think that this really talks about the crux of your energy right now. This is the card that's sort of the whole reading in a nutshell, is you having the confidence to stand up against forces that would oppose you. Okay, you know what? I forgot to start my timer. I have no idea how long I've been talking. The Two of Wands here is really the sort of challenging energy for you, and it really is going to require you to stand up for yourself. And then we could be talking something at work. I don't know what exactly we're talking about here. But the reading in a nutshell is you've got to accept this as your domain. This is your space now, right? And if this is your world, your land, your, I don't know, kingdom, you've got the authority here, and you've got to stay in control of it. You make the decisions, you call the shots, okay? But at the same time, Six of Cups, we're trying to bring people together. That's the name of the game. We don't want to separate people, right? It's not meant to cause sort of chaos and discord and disorder in the world. You're trying to make these connections. The Six of Cups is really about you having the best day of your life. the happiest that you've ever been, because there's peace and harmony in the realm, you know? And again, I think it has more to do with subtle energies than with the intellectual energies. No swords cards here, no air energy really at all, which I think is kind of a good thing, but it's also could be a bit of a problem, you know. I feel like there are people in your life that do oppose you, like I said, but those people that oppose you, I think you're going to end up bringing them over to your side. You know what I mean? There's going to be that reconciliation. People are going to get along. Okay? And again, I feel like there's those people that are coming to you for advice. You're going to give it. They're not going to take it. They might even get angry at the advice you give them. They'll see the light and they'll come back. Okay? So in that sense, it's kind of saying, don't make any sudden moves. Just let things happen as they happen. Be yourself. Do your thing. Express your wisdom. Express yourself the way you know you need to. If people get upset, if people want to fight about it, don't let it bother you. Don't be drawn into that sort of fight, but at the same time, have the authority to kind of, it's almost as if, you know, you've decreed it and it is what it is. If people don't like it, that's fine. They will see the light and they'll be back, okay? That's the message I'm getting. Let's talk about the path of the serpent. As we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you have not subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. And leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. All right, let's talk about the path of the serpent here. We've got the balance of the temperance card, which is important, right? It's the balance between fire and water. And what do we see here? Well, we see balance of fire and water. And if we look at the fire and the water in this way as kind of needing the balance, what makes for a good hierophant, a good, let's say, leader, teacher, a good example, whatever this really is, whatever the role is that you kind of are stepping into, and however you want to describe it or whatever its label is, the way to be the best at this is to know when you need the fire and when the water, and you need each. Right? When do you need to sort of push and when do you need to put your foot down? When do you need to yield? When do you need to accept the situation, accept the energy that's coming in? Okay. So it's interesting to have the balance here. And kind of with the Seven of Cups too, it's kind of like, when do we just need to accept that these are the circumstances, there's nothing we can do to change them? Right? And down here with the ace and the six, when is it just like, you know, there are going to be moments, basically, let me say, there are going to be moments when everything seems to work out exactly as you sort of will them to. You know, the ace to the six, it's a perfect manifestation of your will. Right? And it's kind of like when the will is singular, there's a lot of happiness, a lot of pleasure. Everybody's on the same page. There's peace in the realm. But there's conflict here, and when there is opposition, the realm suffers. Right? And in that way, it's kind of saying that you can't really be of two minds. You have to be unified within yourself. If you are split in two, we're going to get a Seven of Cups. But if you are certain, if you make a firm decision and you stick to it, there's going to be peace and harmony. Okay? And I feel like that's kind of the temperance card too, is sort of understanding the difference between these four. And I think this really sums up the Two of Wands as well. The Chariot card in the position of the environment. The fortification that's needed, for one thing. The fortification to say, well, if there's going to be opposition, we're going to have some rainy days. You're okay with rainy days. The Chariot can drive through the rain just as easily as it can drive through the sunshine. Okay? So it's like you're not letting yourself be swayed by the prospect of hurt feelings, let's say. With the Seven of Cups, if people say, well, if that's how you're going to be, then we're going to just be upset and miserable and You're fine with that. You've got your armor on, you've got a canopy, you've got your raincoat on. It's okay. Let it rain, let it storm. You're not allowing yourself to be manipulated by somebody else's appeal to your emotions. Right? You're sticking to your decision, sticking to your plan. Maybe you're like taking over a company. Maybe you're becoming the kind of, you're becoming a teacher or a professor or something like that, or becoming the head of an order, or the head of some organization or some church, or I don't know, something like this, right? Not everybody is going to agree with your decisions. Yeah. But having that kind of a rainy day is not enough to get you to kind of go back on your decision. Okay. That's the chariot. The chariot is also about your commitment to this. And if you're not committed to the purpose and the fundamental idea and the core energy of this thing, then you're not going to be able to be a strong leader. So there is devotion here that you're the leader of this thing, yeah, but you're not the top dog, right? Everybody's got a boss. And so this is a card that asks you, what are you devoted to? Right? You're devoted to this higher spiritual principle that is requiring you to make these difficult decisions, and to sometimes you're going to piss people off. Okay? Now, the obstacle here, I think, is the Emperor energy, that you kind of don't want to be the boss in that way. You don't want to be the one to have to really tell people what to do, or, I feel that there's a contrast between the Hierophant and the Emperor, right? Because the Hierophant is a little bit more, we could say passive, I guess, in a way. Because the Hierophant just sort of waits and says, if people come to me, then they can receive the energy, This is sort of the energy, it's like, if you ask the right questions, then you'll get the right answers. The Emperor, on the other hand, is going out and finding people and telling them the right answers. This is kind of like, you just wait for people to come to you and ask. And this is out there kind of dictating the answers, forcing your advice on people, where this is just like, if you ask me for advice, I'll tell you what I think. Otherwise, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. You see? So there's a difference here. One is sort of very active and very outgoing. The other one is just kind of, I'm here. I'm a resource if you need me, But if you don't ask the question, I'm not going to tell you what to do. This, though, the Emperor, this is going to tell you what to do. So I feel like you kind of need both, because the Emperor is the obstacle here. It's difficult for you to get into that mode. And I know, Virgo, the stereotype here is that you kind of like bossing people around, I've heard that before about Virgo, but I don't feel that you really necessarily do. I feel like you want everything to run smoothly. You don't want to have to tell people what to do. They should already know what to do, right? So it's really a matter of getting into this Emperor energy, getting into this powerful, commanding energy of yours without it being so, forceful, or it has to be delicate. There has to be some nuance there, right? Now, the final sort of stage of the Hierophant's, qualities is the Hanged Man. Because the Hierophant is sort of the Bodhisattva, right? The one who sort of forgoes their full liberation from human existence in order to stay here in the material plane and teach others. That I'm not going to cross the river until I can bring as many people with me as I can. So there is this idea of sort of sacrificing or giving up or postponing your own needs for the sake of the collective. Okay? And I think that makes a good Hierophant as well. Not so much in this for personal gain. You want the personal gain. We didn't see a lot of earth energy in the reading either. There was this back here, but this is not really, not really the pentacles that we would expect to see. So I feel like the material gain that you would experience from taking this role is secondary to the purpose of it. Like your duty here is to teach or whatever, right? Yeah, you should be getting a living wage. You know what I mean? You should be taken care of, but that's not the primary concern. If it was, I feel like you wouldn't be in this, this wouldn't be your reading, you know? So there is that sort of sacrifice or the postponement of your own human needs for the sake of the spiritual needs of the collective. Does that make sense? It's a very strange reading for you. I feel like your destiny is a lot closer than you think. I still, from the very beginning, I felt like you're kind of not ready for this, but it's just like, hey, the day's here. It's time. It's like, here you go. You completed all the coursework. Here's your certificate. Go do it. You know, you got this. You got this. Let's look at the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. Made a little bit of a mess of things here. That's all right. It's my program. I can do that. Mystery card. Maybe this will be some of that earth energy that we need. Maybe it's a 9 or a 10 of Pentacles. Maybe it's the Empress energy, you know, because you deserve to be compensated for your work, right? This is something where you're taking on this role of this spiritual kind of advisor type of person, this leader kind of thing, and you need to be compensated for that. You need to have your physical needs met as well. Through this work that you do, right? So it's kind of, I don't know, I almost feel like somebody else is kind of doing the business side of things and you're doing the more wisdom, communication, the more creative side of things for something, you know? So maybe this is going to be a card of administration in a way. Let's see. It's another 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups, in this case, this is the illusion of success. This is kind of, this might be an energy that says, you thought this was going to be a little bit different. That maybe you were expecting a little bit more pleasure, a little bit more good times, that you thought maybe it was going to be a little more fun. But it's kind of not right now, you know? And I feel like this is... This is the feeling I've described before about somebody who's, let's say, in a college coursework. They're training to be something, right? Training to be, well, I don't know, maybe some law enforcement or a medical person, right? Doing all this training. The knowledge is fun, having the expertise, learning the skills is fun, taking the tests and doing all the training and stuff is fun, and it's engaging, it's challenging, but you love it, you enjoy it. And then it's finally like you get your diploma and you get the job working on the ambulance or whatever, and it's just like, this is not fun now. Like this is, you know, it's not the same. It's almost as if you might be the type of person that likes the training and the learning and the pursuit of that skill or that position, but then not actually doing it. Does that make sense to you? Somebody who likes getting the degree, the diploma, the certificate, but then you don't actually want to go into the field and do the work. You don't actually want to get the job doing it. You like the training and the learning and the sort of acquiring of that skill. Yeah. I'm not saying that is you completely, but I feel like this is the hurdle that we have to get over, where now it's kind of, it stops being fun and it starts being real, you know? So that's part of the 7 of Cups, and that's, I think, the sort of main obstacle now is making this transition from the kind of, and because you're in the classroom or whatever, it's fun, there's no real risk, there's no real responsibility. If you make a mistake, it's fine, it's just, you know, it's training, it's learning, right? Making that shift over to the real world where it's like your decisions really do matter in other people's lives, you know? So, and that's a big transition, big shift. And I feel like this moment came a lot sooner than you thought it was going to. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. There is a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Virgo every Tuesday and Saturday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.